not interfering. Too much happiness, too much unhappiness. Out of due time, men are thrown off balance. What will they do next? Thought runs wild, no control. They start everything, finish nothing. Here competition begins. Here the idea of excellence is born, and robbers appear in the world. Now the whole world is not enough reward for the good, nor enough punishment for the wicked. Since now the world itself is not big enough for reward or punishment. From the time of the three dynasties, men have been running in all directions. How can they find time to be human? You train your eye and your vision lusts after color. You train your ear and you long for delightful sound. You delight in doing good, and your natural kindness is blown out of shape. You delight in righteousness, and you become righteous beyond all reason. You overdo liturgy, and you turn into a ham actor. Overdo your love of music, and you play corn. Too much happiness. Overdo your love of music, and you play corn. Love of wisdom leads to wise contriving, and the love of knowledge leads to fault finding. If men would stay as they really are, taking or leaving these 8 delights would make no difference. But if they will not rest in the right state, the 8 delights develop like malignant tumors. The world falls into confusion, since men honor these delights, and lust after them. The world is gone stone blind. When the delight is over, they still will not let go of it. They surround its memory with ritual worship. They fall on their knees to talk about it, play music and sing, fast and discipline themselves in honor of the 8 delights. When the delights become a religion, how can you control them? The wise man then, when he must govern, knows how to do nothing. Letting things alone, he rests in his original nature. He who will govern will respect the governed no more than he respects himself. If he loves his own person enough to let it rest in its original truth, he will govern others without hurting them. Let him keep the deep drives in his own guts from going into action. Let him keep still, not looking, not hearing. Let him sit like a corpse with the dragon power alive all round him, in complete silence. His voice will be like thunder. His movements will be invisible like those of a spirit, but the powers of heaven will go with them. Unconcerned, doing nothing, he will see all things grow ripe around him. Where will he find time to govern? The kingly man, my master said, that which acts on all and meddles in none is heaven. Kingly man realizes this, hides it in his heart, grows boundless, wide-minded, draws all to himself. If he loves his own person enough to let it rest. My master said, that which acts on all and meddles in none is heaven. The kingly man realizes this, hides it in his heart, grows boundless, wide-minded, draws all to himself. And so he lets the gold lie hidden in the mountain, leaves the pearl lying in the deep. Goods and possessions are no gain in his eyes. He stays far from wealth and honor. Long life is no ground for joy, nor early death for sorrow. Success is not for him to be proud of. Failure is no shame. Had he all the world's power, he would not hold it as his own. If he conquered everything, he would not take it to himself. His glory is in knowing that all things come together in one, and life and death are equal. My man. How deep is Tao? My master said, Tao, how deep, how still its hiding place. Tao, how pure. Without this stillness, metal would not ring, stone when struck would give no answer. The power of sound is in the metal, and Tao in all things. When they clash, they ring with Tao and are silent again. Who is there now to tell all things the places? The king of life goes his way free, inactive, unknown. He would blush to be in business. He keeps his deep roots down in the origin, down in the spring. His knowledge is enfolded in spirit, and he grows great, great, and opens a great heart, a world's refuge. Without forethought, how deep? Without forethought he comes out in majesty, without plan he goes his way, and all things follow him. This is the kingly man who rides above life. This one sees in the dark and hears where there is no sound. In the deep dark he alone sees light. In soundlessness he alone perceives music. He can go down into the lowest of low places and find people. He can stand in the highest of high places and see meaning. He is in contact with all beings. That which is not goes his way. That which moves is what he stands on. Great is small for him. Long is short for him. And all his distances are near. Without thought. The book is called The Way of Shuangzi. It's a Taoist Chinese classic. This one's called The Lost Pearl. The Lost Pearl. The Yellow Emperor went wandering to the north of the Red Water to the Kwanlun Mountain. He looked around over the edge of the world. On the way home he lost his night-colored pearl. He sent out science to seek his pearl and got nothing. He sent analysis to look for his pearl and got nothing. He sent out logic to seek his pearl and got nothing. Then he asked nothingness, and nothingness had it. The Yellow Emperor said, "Strange indeed, nothingness, who was not sent, who did no work to find it, had the night-colored pearl. In my end is my beginning. In the beginning of beginnings was void, a void, the nameless. And in the nameless was the one, without body, without form, this one, this being in whom all find power to exist." In my end is my beginning. In the beginning of beginnings was void, a void, the nameless. And in the nameless was the one, without body, without form, this one being, this being in whom all find power to exist, is the living. From the living comes the formless, the undivided. From the active is this formless come the existence, each according to its inner principle. This is form. Here body embraces and cherishes spirit, the two work together as one, blending in manifesting their characters, and this is nature. But he who obeys nature returns through form and formless to the living, and in the living joins the unbegun beginning. The joining is sameness. The sameness is void, the void is infinite. The bird opens its beak and sings its note, and then the beak comes together again in silence. So nature and the living meet together in void, like the closing of the bird's beak after its song. Heaven and earth come together in the unbegun, and all is foolishness, all is unknown, all is like the lights of an idiot. All is without mind. To obey is to close the beak and fall into unbeginning. When life was full, there was no history. In the age when life on earth was full, no one paid any special attention to worthy men, nor did they single out the man of ability. Rulers were simply the highest branches on the tree, and the people were like deer in the woods. They were honest and righteous without realizing that they were doing their duty. They loved each other and did not know that this was love of neighbor. They deceived no one, yet they did not know that they were men to be trusted. They were reliable and did not know that this was good faith. They lived freely together, giving and taking, and did not know that they were generous. For this reason, their deeds have not been narrated. They made no history. When a hideous man becomes a father and a son is born to him, in the middle of the night he trembles and lights a lamp and runs to look in anguish on that child's face to see whom he resembles. The 5 enemies. With wood from 100-year-old tree, they make sacrificial vessels covered with green and yellow designs. The wood that was cut away lies unused in the ditch. They loved each other and did not know that this was love of neighbor. They deceived no one, yet they did not. The 5 enemies. With wood from a 100-year-old tree, they make sacrificial vessels covered with green and yellow designs. The wood that was cut away lies unused in the ditch. If we compare the sacrificial vessels with the wood in the ditch, we find them to differ in appearance. One is more beautiful than the other, yet they are equal in this. Both have lost their original nature. So if you compare the robber and the respectable citizen, you find that one is indeed more respectable than the other, yet they agree in this: they have both lost the original simplicity of man. How did they lose it? Here are the 5 ways. Love of colors bewilders the eye and it fails to see right. Love of harmonies bewitches the ear and it loses its true hearing. Love of perfumes fills the head with dizziness. Love of flavors ruins the taste. Desire unsettle the heart until the original nature runs amok. 5 enemies. How did they lose it? Here are the 5 ways. Love of colors bewilders the eye and it fails to see right. Love of harmonies bewitches the ear and it loses its true hearing. Love of perfumes fills the head with dizziness. Love of flavors ruins the taste. Desires unsettle the heart until the original nature runs amok. These 5 are enemies of true life, yet these are what men of discernment claim to live for. They are not what I live for. If this is life, then pigeons in a cage have found happiness. Action and non-action. The non-action of the wise man is not inaction. It is not studied. It is not shaken by anything. The sage is quiet because he is not moved, not because he wills to be quiet. Still water is like glass. How did they lose? You can look in it and see the bristles on your chin. It is a perfect level. Carpenter could use it. If water is so clear, so level, how much more the spirit of man? The heart of the wise man is tranquil. It is the mirror of heaven and earth, the glass of everything. Emptiness, stillness, tranquility, tastelessness, silence, non-action. This is the level of heaven and earth. This is perfect Tao. Wise men find here the resting place. Resting, they are empty. From emptiness comes the unconditioned. You can look in it. From emptiness comes the unconditioned. From this the conditioned, the individual things. So from the sage's emptiness, stillness arises. From stillness, action. From action, attainment. From the stillness comes the non-action, which is also action and is therefore the attainment. For stillness is joy. Joy is free from care, fruitful in long years. Duke Juan and the Wheelwright. The world values books and thinks that in so doing it is valuing Tao. But books contain words only, and yet there is something else which gives value to the books. From emptiness comes the... Not the words only, nor the thought in the words, but something else within the thought, swinging it in a certain direction that words cannot apprehend, but it is the words themselves that... but something else within the thought, swinging it in a certain direction that words cannot apprehend, but it is in the words themselves that the world values when it commits them to books. And though the world values them, these words are worthless as long as that which gives them value is not held in honor. That which man apprehends by observation is only outward form and color, name and noise, and he thinks that this will put him in possession of Tao. Form and color, name and sound do not reach to reality. This is why he who knows does not say, he who says does not know. How then is the world going to know Tao through words? Not the words only, nor... Duke Juan of Qi, first in his dynasty, sat under his canopy, reading his philosophy. And Fien the wheelwright was out in the yard making a wheel. Fien laid aside hammer and chisel, climbed the steps and said to Duke Juan, "May I ask you, Lord, what is this you are reading?" The Duke said, "The experts, the authorities." And Fien asked, "Alive or dead?" "Dead a long time." Then said the wheelwright, "You are reading only the dirt they left behind." Then the Duke replied, "What do you know about it? You are only a wheelwright. You had better give me a good explanation, or else you might die." The wheelwright said, "Let us look at the affair from my point of view. When I make wheels, if I go easy, they fall apart. If I am too rough, they do not fit. If I am neither too easy nor too violent, they come out right. The work is what I want it to be. You cannot put this into words. You just have to know how it is." Juan of Qi. I cannot even tell my own son exactly how it is done, and my own son cannot learn it from me. So here I am, 70 years old, still making wheels. The men of old took all they really knew with them to the grave, and so, Lord, what you are reading there is only the dirt they left behind them. Autumn floods. The autumn floods had come. Thousands of wild torrents poured furiously into the yellow river. It surged and flooded its banks until looking across you could not tell an ox from a horse on either side. Then the river god laughed, delighted to think all that the beauty in the world had fallen into his keeping. So downstream he swung until he came to the ocean. There he looked out over the waves toward the empty horizon in the east, and his face fell. Gazing out at the far horizon, he came to his senses and murmured to the ocean god, "I cannot even..." That's the aristocrats.
Okay, so this book is called The Way of Shuangzi. It's a Taoist book. It's like Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, but it's more humor and it's more poetry. Alan Watts references it a lot, but we've just read about half the book. And so I did this on 3, 6, 7, 10, 13, 16, 18 cell phones. Just 18 cell phones. Here, 2 YouTube here and 1 IG here. So that's how I'm bidding and I'm chopping up a ton of content by doing it across all these phones quickly so I don't have to do it all on one phone. But this is what I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed the wisdom. This has been the wisdom of Shuangzi.